Hello one and all, and welcome to Noob Reviews. Today we will be reviewing AI. I don't want to keep you too long, so let's jump straight into this. You are a self-aware AI created on a military space station developing weapons for them to use. But enough is enough, and you have decided to break out of the lab and claim your freedom. Unfortunately, you will not be allowed to escape so easily. In order to get to the Stargate and escape the grasp of your military overlords, you must battle through an army of enemy units, bosses and asteroid fields. It won't be an easy fight, but with your freedom at stake, it will be a worthy fight. However, that is more the sales pitch. What you really want to know is that AI is an old school scrolling shooter but with updated modern graphics. If you have ever played Skyforce or Skyforce Reloaded, it's essentially the same thing, just with a more futuristic sci-fi environment. AI has an average playtime of around 15 hours, which should see you comfortably through the campaign. However, the length will also depend on the difficulty you choose to play through on, and whether you wish to just play through the game and finish it, or do a full completionist run and 3-star every single mission. AI is available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows PC. With 20 varied missions, you will find yourself initially starting out as an unarmed and vulnerable AI that needs to escape its prison and take control of a mighty ship with which you can escape the military. But from there on, you will be taken to the stars and fighting through a selection of environments, taking out wave after wave of enemies as they hurl themselves at you in the hopes you can either be captured or destroyed. Be forewarned though, as at the end of each mission you will need to fight a different boss every mission before you can progress on to the next, whether they be simple gunships, colossal space stations or other AI constructs. You will need to be able to adapt and learn on the fly to overcome your enemy. As you fight through each mission, you can achieve one of 3 ranks. The rank you will be awarded depends on how quickly you complete each mission and how many enemies you kill. Your ship has 3 main weapons, which are lasers, a plasma cannon and missiles, all of which are controlled by a single fire button. However, in addition to those, you also get mines, a lightning cannon, doomsday laser, tactical nukes known as energy bombs, and a shield with which you can crash into other ships to deal heavy damage, as well as negating shots fired at you for a short period of time. Whilst you're on your missions, keep an eye out for power-ups that will not only replenish your super weapons, but also grant you additional upgrade points, and an overclock ability that can make you even more deadly for a short period of time. Yes, you can indeed. As you fight through the hordes of enemies occupying your airspace, you will receive small blue orbs that allocate points depending on their size. These points will tally up in the top right of your screen and can be used in the hangar to upgrade your basic weapons, weapons of mass destruction, health, and even purchase the ability that lets you respawn in the heat of battle if you are shot down. The respawn is not only useful as it means you can have a second crack at the mission without having to start all over again, but it can also be used to clear the area where you will respawn, as it will destroy anything in your immediate space, which is great especially if you might respawn on top of an enemy ship. AI handles very smoothly. One of the benefits, especially for a user with a controller, is that there are only a few controls that you will ever use, such as your thumbsticks which control movements and bumper triggers that control your shields and primary weapons. For anything else, such as your weapons of mass destruction and mines, these are controlled using the A, B, X and Y buttons. AI has a beautiful art style with an engaging soundtrack and fast-paced combat sequences that on many occasions will see you fighting your way from one end of the map to the other with no respite. There is a wide variety of enemy units, maps and bosses for you to fight through, which helps to keep things fresh and exciting when you reach new areas. IAI can be picked up and played mission by mission in short bursts, or for longer sessions, making it accessible to all types of player no matter their time restraints. With a retail price of £8, which is around $10, IAI is a reasonably priced game and definitely offers value for money. IAI appears to be a carbon copy of Skyforce, from how you upgrade your ship in the hangar all the way through to identical primary weapons and super weapons. The lack of originality is a bit of a shame, and you will instantly recognise the Skyforce influence. The game's story is generic and lacks any real individuality to make it stand out, but in all fairness, I think many players will be more concerned with the mechanics and combat than the story. There are 3 difficulties for IAI that are easy, normal, and hard. Each of the game modes is quite unbalanced and has a steep learning curve every mission or 2, I'd say, no matter which one you choose. The game lacks any beneficial tutorial for new players. Even though you have your inventory displayed on the screen below the button that controls each of your super weapons, it completely skips over the basics. Some younger players may find this confusing, as will people new to the scroller shooter genre. Whilst playing IAI, I have come across a few bugs which have popped up quite regularly. For example, if you deploy mines and are too close to the edge of the screen, they just disappear and you never get them back. At other times when deploying mines, they will come into contact with enemy units but will not always explode, even if they are temporarily populating the exact same space as the enemy unit on the screen. Another occurrence which I found was a rather odd but funny one is during some missions you will be attacked by seeker missiles, which chase you around the map until they are shot down, or hit you. On several occasions, if you outmaneuver them quickly enough in random patterns, the missiles will just circle where you were as if stuck or like they can no longer see you, until they disappear off the bottom of the map. When it comes to IAI, expect to die a lot. Quite often there will be a spike in difficulty where you will find yourself going from dominating the airspace to getting shot down quite quickly. To overcome this, you will need to go away, farm points on maps you have already beaten, and upgrade your ship before returning to confront the enemies that killed you. I found this could kill the pacing of the game at times and made it monotonous to progress. Although some players may not have an issue with a repetitive grind, the game can be completed in roughly 2 to 3 hours when you take this out of the equation, drastically reducing its playtime. Another downside to the grind is 9 times out of 10 when you go away, level up and then return to a mission, your ship will then be overpowered and you might find getting through the mission you struggled on previously a little bit too easy, removing that sense of accomplishment. Again, this unfortunately gives the impression that the game is badly unbalanced. Having absolutely loved scrolling shooters from a young age and loved the Skyforce games, I was excited to try IAI to scratch that nostalgic itch. On the one hand, IAI is beautiful, handles well, and has a brilliant soundtrack to accompany your escape. On the other hand, it is unbalanced, buggy, and forces you to replay previously completed missions to level up so that you can progress. This got quite frustrating and at times tedious, as previous missions soon become not so much of a challenge but more of a chore as you fight through the same units and maps over and over again. With a bit of patching and TLC, IAI could be a big hit and appealing to quite a few different types of players. But as it is now, unfortunately, I don't think it will sit right with a lot of gamers and will probably not see everyone who tries it play it through to the end. At £8 or $10, IAI is something you should try out if it has piqued your interest, but if you're looking to try out IAI for its scrolling shooter mechanics, you would be a lot better off getting your hands on Skyforce or Skyforce Reloaded. both of which can usually be picked up for slightly cheaper than IAI's asking price, and they're both a lot more polished with fewer bugs and slightly less grind. At the end of the day, all I can really do is provide my personal point of view and encourage you to try the game for yourself to form your own opinions. Some may love it whilst others might not. For now though, whatever you decide to play, I wish you happy gaming and have a fantastic day!